The boy on my porch looked like a stranger until he handed me a letter from my dead mother. By the time I finished reading, I realized I wasn't an only child and never had been. She swirled her wine and said it like a joke. Honestly, I never wanted kids. Still don't. Laugh. Sip. Shrug. But the 17-year-old sitting across from her didn't laugh. He froze. His jaw clenched. And I watched something in his face just shut down. Because that kid, Eli, wasn't just some distant cousin or neighbor's plus one. He was her mother's son. Our mother's son. The baby she helped give away. The baby she helped bury in a lie. My name's Brian. I'm 35, married, no kids, and until last year, I thought I knew everything about my family. Then a stranger knocked on my door and handed me a letter from my dead mother. It happened last December. I was on the ladder halfway through putting up Christmas lights when the doorbell rang. Thought it was UPS. Instead, there was a teenager on my porch with a manila envelope in his hand. He looked nervous. Familiar, somehow. Are you Brian Cartwright? He asked. Yeah. He looked down, took a breath, and said, I think you're my brother. I just stared at him. He handed me the envelope. Inside, a handwritten letter from my mother. Dated 5 years ago. The first line hit me like a truck. If you're reading this, the truth has found you. She wrote about a mistake in her 40s. A pregnancy she never told anyone about, not even me. She said she was too old, too ashamed. The father wasn't named. Danielle, my older sister, was the only one who knew. She helped Mom hide the pregnancy. Helped arrange a private adoption through someone at church. No one else in the family ever knew. Not me. Not our cousins. Not our dad. And now this boy, this 17-year-old with my mother's eyes, was standing on my porch. His name was Eli. And he'd spent the last year tracking down his biological family after a DNA test matched him to one of our cousins on Ancestry. He found the letter in a box of papers after his adoptive mother passed. It had been left for him with no instructions. Just a name, Brian Cartwright. I wish I could say I handled it well. Truth is, I sat on the porch with Eli for almost an hour and said barely 10 words. He didn't push. Just told me he didn't want anything. He wasn't angry. He just wanted to understand where he came from. I told him I needed time. That this was a lot. He nodded. Gave me his number. Said he'd be in town through the holidays. I didn't sleep that night. Or the one after. The next week, we met for coffee. Then dinner. I took him to Mom's grave. And little by little, we got to know each other. He didn't ask about Danielle much. Said he had a feeling she wouldn't want to talk to him. I didn't press it. Then this Thanksgiving, he texted. Would it be weird if I came? And I said yes. Because I honestly thought we could handle it. I thought we were past the secrets. I had no idea what Danielle was about to do. The moment Eli stepped through the door, Danielle saw him and froze. Not because she didn't recognize him, but because she did. She smiled too quickly, too wide. Hi, I'm Danielle, she said, like he was just another distant cousin. Like she hadn't helped hide his entire existence. Eli, calm as ever, held out the pie he brought and said, nice to meet you and Danielle. She flinched. Just for a moment. But I saw it. My wife saw it. Even our cousin Natalie, halfway drunk on Chardonnay, raised an eyebrow. That word "aunt" hit like a brick. It confirmed what Danielle had tried to bury, that the baby she helped vanish had found his way home. And he knew exactly who she was. Dinner was a mess. Tension buzzed beneath every clink of silverware. My wife, Jenna, tried to keep it light. So, Eli, any college plans yet? Thinking pre-law, he said. I like puzzles. Danielle barely glanced at him. Just kept cutting turkey, slow and precise. Senior year, Eli added. It's going fast. That's the year Danielle crashed Dad's car, I said, smiling, trying to crack the ice. Danielle didn't even look up. It wasn't my fault. It was absolutely your fault, I laughed. You were trying to beat a red light and hit a mailbox. Dad grounded you for 3 months. Still nothing. Just the sound of her scraping her fork across the plate. Then Eli said gently, you were in high school when I was born, right? The room fell silent. Everyone froze, including me. Danielle looked up, slow, her eyes locked on him. Excuse me, she said, her voice sharp. You would have been what, a senior? He continued, like it was just casual math. You and Brian are 6 years apart, right? Danielle blinked. Her mouth opened, then closed again. For the first time all night, she looked completely unprepared. I guess so, she said finally. That was a long time ago. Eli nodded, smiling faintly. Crazy how much can happen in a year. Danielle didn't smile back. After dinner, people migrated toward the living room. Pumpkin pie. Football. Kids half asleep on couches. Danielle slipped away to the kitchen. I followed 10 minutes later to find her standing perfectly still, hands pressed flat against the counter. Not moving. Just breathing. You didn't tell me, she said, still facing the wall. You knew. She turned, her face hard. Of course I knew. I was there. I helped Mom. She stopped herself, darting toward the hallway. I waited. She panicked. Brian, she hissed. She was in her 40s. She thought she'd die before he turned 10. It wasn't just shame, it was fear. She didn't tell me anything, I said. Danielle looked at me like I was being naive. You were 16. You were a kid. She didn't want to ruin your life too. So you helped her ruin his instead? Danielle crossed her arms. I was 20. What was I supposed to do? Mom made up her mind. You could have told me. She didn't answer. And then Eli walked in. He didn't say anything. Just stood in the doorway holding his plate. Danielle froze like a deer in headlights. Eli crossed to the sink and set his plate down. She opened her mouth, maybe to say something, maybe to apologize. But he beat her to it. You know, he said, his voice calm but tight, I used to think I was some kind of mistake. Like maybe something awful happened. That I was born because of some horrible secret. Danielle stared at him. Her hands were shaking. But then I met Brian, he went on. And I realized maybe I wasn't the problem. Maybe the people who gave me away just weren't brave enough. Danielle inhaled sharply. Her face went pale. You didn't even look at me when I walked in, he said. I guess that answered all my questions. Her mouth opened again. But no words came out. I don't need anything from you, Eli said, turning away. I just wanted to see if you were who I hoped you weren't. And then he left. Danielle leaned against the counter like she'd been shot. Later, after everyone had gone, she lingered behind, claiming she wanted to help clean up. We were alone in the kitchen again when she finally whispered, I didn't think he'd find us. I didn't answer. He wasn't supposed to know, she went on. Mom promised she destroyed everything. No records. No letters. She lied, I said. Danielle wiped at her eyes, furious with herself for even crying. I thought we did the right thing. I turned to face her. He's 17. He's smart. Kind. Grounded. The only right thing would have been to give him a chance. She nodded slowly. He's nothing like I expected, she whispered. He's nothing like you, I said. Thank God. Danielle didn't flinch this time. She just turned, walked out the front door, and left. 3 days after Thanksgiving, Eli texted, You home? When he showed up, he didn't waste time. He sat at my kitchen table, looked me straight in the eye, and asked, Why didn't anyone come for me? No anger. Just a quiet accusation that hit harder than yelling ever could. I told him the truth. I didn't know you existed. I swear. Eli didn't argue. Just nodded, slow dot. But he didn't believe me. Not really. Then he pulled out the letter. My mother's handwriting. Folded so many times the creases were white dot. Read it, he said. Eli, you weren't born of violence or cruelty. You were born of fear dot. I was in my 40s. I panicked. Danielle helped me arrange everything dot. I told her not to tell Brian. I wanted to protect him dot. If you're reading this, I'm sorry. I loved you. I just couldn't keep you. That was it. She left me that, Eli said. No photo. No name. Just fear. She was ashamed, I said. She erased me. He looked up. For years I thought maybe she had no choice. Maybe I was sick. Maybe something awful happened. He tapped the letter dot. But it wasn't tragedy. It was convenience. I'm sorry. He laughed bitter and hollow. 17 birthdays. 17 Christmases. Nothing. I stayed quiet. He reached into his backpack again. This is the only picture I have. A faded ultrasound. Dated 2006. She told my adoptive mom to throw it out. He slid it toward me. I want you to have it. When he stood, I asked, Where are you going? Back to school. Finals. He turned to the door. You were wanted, I said. Just, not by the right people. He stopped. I know, he said dot. Then left. That night, I sat alone with the ultrasound and the letter. Danielle helped bury a brother. And now he's the only one acting like family. I found out through my cousin Natalie. Hey, she said over the phone. Why is Danielle telling people Eli's some scammer? I sat down. She said what? That he's lying. That some kid showed up pretending to be family. She's warning everyone not to believe him. I didn't answer right away. I could feel my pulse in my jaw. She said you're being manipulated, Natalie added. That the kid probably found some old documents and is blackmailing you. Unbelievable. Danielle wasn't just dodging the truth, she was rewriting it. She knew, I said. She helped give him away. I figured, Natalie replied. You think anyone else will believe her? They already are. I didn't wait. I texted Danielle, you need to stop lying. Now. She didn't reply. So I called. Straight to voicemail. So I sent one more message, he's your brother. And you're destroying him twice. 10 minutes later, she replied, Don't do this, Brian. No denial. Just fear. That night, Eli called me. His voice was tight. She's saying I faked the letter. You didn't, I said. She told people I photoshopped it. Said I'm trying to get inheritance. What inheritance? I had no answer. She could have ignored me, he said. That would have hurt less than this. He wasn't angry. He sounded exhausted. She's turning the whole thing into a lie. Again. I asked him what he wanted to do. I don't care what she says, he said. But if you believe her, tell me now. I don't, I said. Not for a second. Then that's enough, he said. For now. The next day, Danielle showed up at my door. No warning. No smile. I'm not doing this with you, she said, walking right into my kitchen. I'm not letting you blow up the family over some what? She hesitated. I didn't think he'd come back. That doesn't make it okay. You don't understand, she snapped. Mom was terrified. People would have judged her. She wanted to protect what she had. She wanted to protect you. Silence. Then she said something I'll never forget. I had to help her. What was I supposed to do? Let her fall apart. So you sacrificed him instead. Danielle shook her head. He doesn't need to drag us all down now. I stepped closer. He's not dragging anyone. He just exists. And you can't erase that again. She turned toward the door. You tell one more lie about him, I said, and I'll tell everyone the truth. All of it. You helped hide him. You helped abandon him. You watched him walk into this house and pretended you'd never seen his face before. Danielle's hand paused on the doorknob. I never wanted kids, she muttered. Good, I said. Because you don't deserve one. She left. I didn't think Danielle would actually follow through. But she did. The next day, she posted a carefully worded status on Facebook. Just public enough. Be careful who shows up claiming to be family. Not everyone is who they say they are. People will do anything these days for attention, sympathy, or money. No names. No direct accusations. But it was clear who she meant. And she made sure people saw it. Tagged relatives. Responded to every comment. Wow, what happened? DM me, it's wild. I didn't even need to comment. She outed herself without realizing it. But Eli saw it too. He sent me a screenshot that morning. No message. Just the post. It said everything. I called her. She didn't pick up. So I commented. Just one line, you're talking about our brother. 30 seconds later, she deleted the whole post. But it was too late. I'd already saved it. And so had Eli. And so had Natalie, who texted me immediately. She's unraveling. She was. That post wasn't just cruel. It was desperate. And people started asking questions. The calls started coming in that afternoon. My uncle. A cousin from Oregon. Even an old neighbor. Wait, what brother? You're saying your mom had another kid? Is this for real, or is Danielle just spiraling again? I didn't sugarcoat it. Yes, we have a brother. His name is Eli. Our mom gave him up in secret. Danielle helped. I just found out last year. Some were stunned. A few didn't believe me. But most just said the same thing. I always knew something was off with her. Danielle finally called that night. You humiliated me, she snapped. You did that yourself. You had no right to post that. I didn't. You did. I deleted it. Too late. She exhaled hard like she'd been holding her breath all day. I didn't want it to be public. Then you shouldn't have lied publicly. There was a long pause. Then she said, you don't know what it was like. When Mom told me. I was 20, Brian. She said she was pregnant and that no one could know. Dad was gone, church was her whole world, and she was afraid. So you helped her hide it. She begged me. And now you're smearing him to save face? I didn't think he'd show up, okay? There it was. Not regret. Not apology. Just fear of exposure. Then she said something I never expected. He reminds me of you. That stopped me. Sorry? He's calm. Stubborn. He asks too many questions. I didn't know what to say. I don't hate him, she added quickly. I don't want to deal with it. That's the problem. You never did. There was silence on the other end. Then she hung up. I didn't tell Eli about the call. I didn't need to. Because the next morning I got an email. Subject line, official documentation, Cartwright, Eli. It was from the lawyer who handled Mom's will. Attached was a scanned copy of a handwritten addendum, dated 2 years before she died. If Eli Cartwright ever finds this family, he is to be treated as my biological son. I want him to have the same access to all family history, records, and any remaining assets as Brian or Danielle. He is blood. That matters. I sat with that line for a long time. He is blood. That matters. Danielle must have known. She'd read the will. She had to. She knew he was written in. She just thought he'd never show up. I printed the document and texted Eli. You've been in the will the whole time. She knew. He didn't respond right away. But when he did, all he said was, guess she forgot how paper works. I smiled. He wasn't backing down. Later that night, I got another text. From Natalie. She's on a group call right now. Spinning the whole thing again. Says Mom was coerced. Says Eli is making it all up. I asked, who's believing her? Natalie replied, fewer and fewer every time she opens her mouth. Danielle didn't realize it yet, but the more she tried to erase the truth, the louder it rang. You can only scrub history so many times before the damage becomes obvious. And Eli? He wasn't running. He was watching, waiting. Thanksgiving came back around. Same kitchen, same dining room, same creaky chair at the end of the table. But the energy? Completely different. Last year, Danielle dropped a bomb with one line. This year, she wasn't even invited. There were fewer people, just the ones who mattered. My wife Jenna, cousin Natalie, 2 close friends who'd supported us through the mess. And Eli. He showed up early. Pie in one hand, store-bought whipped cream in the other. The pie was clearly homemade. Burnt crust, off-center, slightly cracked across the top. Should have let Google handle it, he said, grinning. I shook my head. It's better than anything Danielle ever brought. He gave a quiet smile. Small victories. But it wasn't small. It was his first holiday walking through the front door like he belonged. No hesitation. No second-guessing. No hiding in anyone's shadow. Danielle never apologized. After the lies, the Facebook post, the calls behind my back, all she sent was one text. You got what you wanted. Hope you're happy. I left her on read. She wasn't sorry. She was embarrassed. Exposed. Most of the family stopped responding to her. A few stayed neutral, but many drifted away. The truth is that it thins the crowd, but strengthens the core. One person who did reach out was our mom's sister. She called me in tears. I always had a feeling, she said. But I thought it was just stress. Your mom shut down after your dad died. I didn't know there was another child. Then she asked, does he look like her? Yeah, I said. And like me. Silence. Tell him I'm sorry. I did. Eli didn't say much, but I saw how his shoulders eased. A quiet kind of healing. Dinner that night was calm. No performance. No tension under the surface. Eli carved the turkey, his idea, and handed out plates like he'd done it for years. He crushed Natalie at cards. He made Jenna laugh so hard she spilled wine on the tablecloth. He was himself. Fully. No one asked him to prove anything. No one questioned his place. At one point, Natalie leaned in and said, you know, she's still telling people it was all fake? I know, I said. And no one believes her anymore. She said she never wanted kids, Natalie muttered. But she literally helped throw one away. She didn't want accountability, I replied. That's not the same thing. After dessert, once the guests had gone and the kitchen was quiet, Eli and I stood out back under the string lights. You good? I asked. Better than I thought I'd be. He looked at the house, then pulled something from his coat. The ultrasound. Still folded, still faded. He handed it to me again. This time, keep it. You sure? I don't need it anymore. I used to stare at it, wondering who I was. Now I know. He looked me in the eye. I'm not a secret. And I'm not a ghost. No, I said. Your family. That night, I put the ultrasound in a frame beside a photo from summer, the 3 of us at the lake. Jenna's hand on Eli's shoulder. His eyes half closed mid-laugh. 2 images. One of beginning. One of becoming. Some families are inherited. Others are built. Ours? Ours was broken, buried, and still managed to find its way back to truth. Before dinner, Eli offered to say the blessing. Nobody asked him to, he just spoke up. We all went quiet. He didn't close his eyes. He didn't get flowery. He just looked around the table, raised his glass, and said, to found things. Not just lost ones. And for the first time in years, it felt like Thanksgiving again.